Hi, class of 2021. I am Mrs. Hayosaka.
And I'm Liz Curran, and today we're going to talk to you all about college applications and coming up with a checklist and timeline. So the first things we want you to think about are going to take place throughout August and September. We want you to look at the colleges that you're thinking about applying to and look at what their requirements are for the SAT and ACT. A lot of schools with COVID are waiving this as a part of your application, but you want to make sure that you're staying on top of your school's requirements. The next step is to start mapping out application and financial aid deadlines. Being organized will really help make sure that you don't miss any of these deadlines. The next step is going to be to finalize your college essay. A lot of you all worked on this during the spring of your junior year, but now's the time to pull that essay out, read it again, make sure you feel comfortable with it. This year for your class, the essay is going to be a huge part of your application, so you want to make sure it's as strong as what you possibly can have. One of the last steps for your essay is going to be to have an English teacher proofread it and make sure there's no grammar mistakes. Next up is your teacher letter of recommendation. You want to double check every college's requirement to see how many letters of rec they require. Most colleges want 2, 3 at the most. Please, please, please do not ask 5, 6, 7 teachers for a letter of recommendation. I promise you, you only need 2 or 3. You're going to want to ask your teacher through an email, and you want to request them on Maya, and eventually we'll have steps for you on how to do that on the East website. Please make sure you give your correct college application deadlines to your teacher. If your school's application is due November 1st, your teacher's letter is due November 1st as well. Next up is the counselor letter of recommendation. Not every school requires a counselor letter of recommendation, so it's up to you to see what the college does require, and then you're going to reach out to your counselor and request a letter of rec online through the East website through the My Letter of Rec survey. So we ask you about 15 different questions. We ask you to fill it out, and that helps us kind of complete your letter of rec. Counselors only write letters of rec for schools that require it. CU Boulder does not require a counselor letter of rec. So for those of you that are thinking of applying to CU Boulder and a few other schools, just know CU Boulder does not require a counselor letter of rec. They require a teacher letter of rec. As you start thinking about the schools that you want to apply to, you have to make sure you are updating them in Maya, and you want to make sure that you're looking at the correct application date. The next thing that we didn't add to this is thinking about senior meetings with your counselor. If you have not met individually with your counselor through your senior meeting, reach out to them and schedule an appointment. During these meetings, we will talk about your schedule, make sure you have all the classes you need to graduate, but we'll also help you decide if you should be applying to a school early, which would be in November or December, or if you should wait till the regular application deadlines.
All right, so kind of finishing off September and going through October. Again, SAT, ACT, at this point for November and December tests, we are unsure of whether those will happen or not. If you are interested in testing, continue to check those websites to ensure that you are as up to date as possible on whether those tests will be administered or not. You will begin starting your college applications, if you have not already, in October. So when you begin doing that, we want to make sure that you are requesting a transcript for each of your colleges. There will be a link on the East website and on the senior appointment document specific to your counselor to request your transcript. If you are unsure where this is, you can also contact your counselor directly to get that link. This must be done at least 2 weeks before your college deadline. Please do not wait until the last minute. This year is really about working on time management while we are remote. So use a planner or whatever it is that will help you make sure that you are meeting those deadlines. College applications are expensive. They add up, especially if you do have a significant list of schools you are applying to. So please do, if you feel like you have a financial hardship that would be keeping you from applying to the schools that you are interested in applying to, please don't hesitate to reach out to your counselor and ask for a fee waiver. This will remain completely confidential, and we will work alongside you to make sure that finances are not a barrier. Talking about finances, you must complete your FAFSA in order to show that you're eligible for financial aid. It goes live October 1st. Money through FAFSA is a first come, first served basis. So make sure that you're applying as soon as possible. If you are interested in making sure you are as prepared as possible for that date, please make sure to talk to Vinny, our DSF coordinator, to determine what documents are needed in order to fill it out. Alongside that, if you are applying to any private colleges, many of them require an additional application for financial aid called the CSS profile. This can be found on the College Board website and is another thing to consider in all of your deadline requirements here. Make sure to see if your school is requiring that so you are prepared to fill that out. If you by chance did get to take the SAT or ACT, make sure you are sending official test scores. We will not have any test scores on transcripts this year. With everything being test optional, you need to make sure you are going out of your way to go to the ACT website or the College Board website to send the test scores to the specific schools you are interested in sending them to. And then lastly, obviously at this point, if you're starting to apply for colleges, make sure you are paying attention to those college deadlines so you can get everything in on time.
So a big date that we all want you to have on your calendar is October 13th. I believe it's a Tuesday. It's the Colorado Free Application Day. This is a big day, and typically in a normal world at East High School, October 13th is a very busy day in the counseling office. It's when students can come in, and you can do it from home as well, but on October 13th, you can apply to 32 public colleges and universities in the state of Colorado completely free. And then multiple private schools will waive their application fees as well, but you want to double check and see as we get more information if those private schools are going to be on the list. If you want to take advantage of this day, just know that your application is due on October 13th. But the teacher letters of rec and all the counselor documents that we send in, we still turn everything in on the college's early action deadline. So for example, if you're applying to CU Boulder, you would turn your application in on October 13th, and then teachers and counselors would still use the November 1st deadline to make sure all of our stuff was turned in. And you would again complete your transcript request form the way you would do for any other college application.
All right, moving into November and December. Make sure again you are submitting your applications before their deadline. At this point, most schools have a November 1st or November 15th early action, early decision deadline. Again, you need to make sure that you are checking on every single college that you are applying to ensure you know what the deadline is for that particular school. Please consider how much work every single teacher and counselor puts into the letters of recommendation for you. When you're filling out the request form, fill it out with as much detail as possible so we can write you a great letter. And then on top of that, please do take some time to thank your teacher by writing them a note. If you can do a hard copy, something written, it is so appreciated. If not, just make sure that you're writing them at least a great email expressing the appreciation that you have for them taking so much time to voluntarily write a letter of recommendation for you. If you are an athlete, you should at this point be registered for the NCAA Clearinghouse. If you are unsure about that process, we do have a boot camp video provided for you where you can get more of that information. Please make sure you are continually talking to your coach and following up on their website to ensure that you are meeting all the criteria that you need to meet. Come November, December, sometimes we start getting tired. It's senior year. We need to make sure we're keeping our grades up and making sure that you are continuing to attend and engage in your classes. Obviously, this year is very unusual. It's unlike any other year we've had. We may be moving between remote learning and in-person. Make sure that you're doing everything that you can to stay engaged. And on top of that, continue to apply for scholarships at this point.
So then we come to January through April of 2021. If you've applied to a college during the first semester of school or the first 2 quarters of school, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to your emails and you are reaching out to your counselor through the EAST website to send in your mid-year request form. So if you've applied early, your mid-year request form is the counselor sending into your college your grades from quarter 1 and quarter 2. If you haven't applied yet to a school in the fall, you do want to make sure you're keeping track of the regular decision deadlines. A lot of them are on January 1st, so you want to be aware of that deadline. You want to then, as you start becoming admitted to schools, compare their admissions decisions with their financial aid packages. You want to make sure you're applying to institutional scholarships. A lot of private schools especially have money that they want to give students. As you narrow down your choices, counselors are available to go over your options with you. Vinny's available to go over the financial aid package with you. And we want to make sure that you're making the best decision for you and your family. You would then decide which school you're going to attend. You would send your intent to register and submit your deposit for housing. This helps you pick the best dorm. Then you want to notify the counseling department which schools accepted you. This is how we keep track and keep data for all of our future senior classes of what schools have been accepting EAST students. So we will be sending you all an email and probably updating the website as we get more information about that. Once you've been accepted to the school, you want to continue to regularly check their college portal for communication. Especially with remote learning, communication is going to be key through email and their portal, so you really want to make sure you're staying on top of it. Vinny in the DSF office is going to be your best friend second semester. He is here to help you. He has a person with him this year that's going to help assist our senior class as well. So you really want to make sure you take advantage of his resources, and you want to make sure you've completed the FAFSA and any other verification paperwork that is left for you to complete.
All right, so next steps. Please follow the EAST Counseling group on Instagram at @DenverEast_counseling. We post regularly for a lot of information up to date that you would like to have. Check your .NET email daily. Please do make this a part of your routine. Again, being in a routine for remote learning will be key this year. Check it daily and make sure that you are, again, up to date on any information that is coming out. Check updates on the counseling tab on the EAST website as well. In addition to that, get familiar with Maya. Again, we are not using Naviance this year. Maya is where we will be utilizing the tools for college research, your college lists, and keeping track of whether you've been accepted or not to schools. Please start playing with that so that you are aware of how to use it. Get organized. We keep mentioning it. Being organized can be a large part of your success this year with the unusual circumstances. If you need any help, reach out to any of us. Counselors are available for individual appointments. Counselors will send out Calendly links, and or you can always email us requesting for an appointment. And then lastly, make sure you get to know Vinny. Again, he will be your best friend when it comes to financial aid and supporting you along this journey in preparing for your post-secondary education. And know that overall, we are all here to help you through this process.